Viewers, welcome back this morning to the Tobago Updates morning show. We should have on the line at this time Curtis Williams, President of the Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Industry and Commerce Tobago chapter. This morning, viewers, our focus is he's going to give us an update on Tobago's Seabridge Woes. Good morning and welcome to Curtis Williams.
Morning, Rhea, and morning to your viewers online.
Okay, it's good to have you on the program with us this morning. Now let's jump right on into things. We see here where the MV Emperadora, I think I got it right, has
Yes.
come on board to alleviate some of the stress being put on the existing vessels traveling between Trinidad and Tobago. Is this the best vessel? Is this the best vessel for or to meet our existing needs? Or is it half a loaf is better than no loaf?
Well, Rhea, as you have noticed that this vessel was secured by the charter and not the Port Authority nor the government. The charter decided on its own free will to assist us by getting this vessel. There were no input from the port or the government. Hence, the reason why the government indicated that all costs, etc., associated with this vessel is borne by the charter. The vessel can only carry 1/10 of the space of the cable star, so we know there will be a challenge. But let's give it an opportunity to see what the vessel can do. We're hoping that it sails today and reach in Tobago probably 10 hours after, which probably will be about 11 p.m. midnight. I will be on the port. I will be waiting graciously to see the vessel and what it definitely can carry. And from there, we will be able to make our other comments accordingly.
All right. What were your initial thoughts when this vessel did come on stream?
Well, we say, thank God someone think for us. We had nothing from coming from our goodly honorable minister, nothing from our representative. We heard nothing from none of them, deafening silence. And we know that Tobago at this stage, our hardwares are empty. We see some of our food and beverage suppliers showing you their warehouses. They are empty. Who is not empty is a bit low on goods and items, and this situation is not getting better soon. So this vessel will bring some kind of a savior to the construction sector because in first instance it will be taking hardware materials or construction materials to that sector. We know that they have been suffering a lot. Um, and sending home staff, cutting staff, as the case may be in some instances. So it has been really, really hard for us. And so this vessel brings a bit of savior to that area.
Now, you did indicate that it carries about one tenth of the volume. How does that really work to alleviate the stress of the business community in Tobago? One-tenth of the volume isn't that much in my estimation.
No, definitely. Area is not much. And I know they're going to be a mad rush for suppliers to get stuff across on the island. And but we this is what we have. This is what the charter got in place of the Cabo Star without any assistance from the Port Authority or the government. So we say thanks, and let's see how it can help us here on the island.
So is it then a case of first come, first serve for the business community in Tobago? Whoever gets their stuff to the port first gets their cargo on first. How is it going to work?
Area, you said it right. You hit the nail on the head. It will be a mad rush to get your stuff across the island because I over the weekend I went across to many hardwares and the yards are empty. And who's low on stock and don't have basic stuff, and so it's a bit challenging for most of them. The expenses stay the same, but the income have dwindled. So you can imagine, Ria, the kind of challenges these folks face, and so any kind of a savior at this point is much appreciated. and we want to give the opportunity to see what the vessel can do. I know it's 10 hours, so it's probably 1 day on, 1 day off for us, but we're trying our best to see how we can capitalize on what we have in front of us.
All right. So while this vessel is here meeting somewhat of the needs, some of the needs of the people, the business community in Tobago, what is happening in the background with regards finally alleviating the stress and the strain of the Seabridge Woes?
Well, going forward, we decided as a chamber to pen a letter to the Minister of Works, and also to invite the chairman of NITCO, so that we could have some sort of conversation going forward for the future and for this new RFP that we saw over the weekend in the newspaper, asking for a vessel come next year. We really want to sit and have meaningful dialogue with these gentlemen, because it's important that we as a chamber, as a business committee in Tobago, really indicate to these guys what's really happening on island, and what sort of plan they will have in place for when something like this do occur in the future. God forbid that we have a backup plan, because as we can see, the port had no plan. Whether the plan was there, something in writing on someone's desk or in a cabinet, but actually, Rhea, between you and I, we can see that there were no plan. There were no plan in terms of even to save the Coast Guard to get out there. There's nothing. There was no plan that no one could activate that could have give us some sort of assurance that things would be pretty smooth on island. You can imagine those truckers came back to Tobago with all their trucks and trailers, and up to now, those trucks and trailers cannot get back to Trinidad. So you see, those trucks and trailers are parked somewhere, cost, and no one have a plan. There is no plan whatsoever. Again, if there is one, probably it's sitting in someone's cupboard or cabinet taking dust. But realistic, there's no plan of action we see coming out from the government or the port authority, in the sense that when an accident like this happen, what happens and what we can do.
Okay, we need to take a very quick break here. We want to thank you for joining us. We will be back with you just after the break, Curtis Williams. We take a break, and when we come back, lots more coming up on the Tobago Updates morning show. Share the live, share the live, share the live.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Viewers, welcome back this morning to the Tobago Updates morning show. We are still chatting this morning with Curtis Williams, president of the Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Industry and Commerce, Tobago chapter, giving us an update on the Tobago Seabridge Woes. Curtis Williams, yes, we're back with you. Now, let me ask you here, Mr. Williams, who absorbs the cost of the expenses incurred by truckers who get stranded in Tobago? You mentioned earlier that truckers would have come to Tobago to deliver goods, and they would have been stranded here for a few days. But who absorbs the cost of all of these expenses?
Rhea, the truckers or the business owners. So you can see the situation and how dire it would be for us. Um, Looking at that press release that the port sent out recently, we noticed that the Galleon Passage, which we use for food and beverage, there are times, especially on weekends. So we urge the suppliers utilize the vessel strongly on weekends. There are times on weekends, Saturday and Sundays, when the vessel is a bit underutilized. So we are asking the truckers, although we know it's only 3-ton trucks and it's only 18, it can carry at any given time. So we're asking you on Saturday and Sunday to make sure and utilize those slots, because that vessel will be going on its maintenance for 5 days, Rhea. So just read that press release and you realize that we have another situation popping up slowly and surely if that cable start don't get in position in time.
And what is in place? What measures are being put in place to to bring some type of relief, to bring some hope to the people, the business community in Tobago. I mean, I know we're talking about the construction sector, we're talking about pharmacies and groceries that are that have empty shelves. The bakeries are suffering. I mean, it is all around. When the bakeries suffer, homes suffer, the school feeding program suffers, the breakfast program, the lunch program. So it is an all-round effect. What is in place?
Well, Rhea, as we can see, there's nothing in place. Um, the Galleon Passage, if that vessel do go down for maintenance as indicated, we're hoping that the Cabo Star or something is in place. But right as we speak, I don't see anything. The other two fast ferries, they can only carry limited. The Boca Reef is the only one can carry some of the trucks. The ATP James can't carry much because of the low height of its deck. So Rhea, just think about it. If you're accustomed pulling a 10-ton truck with X amount of pallets on a daily basis, now you have a 3-ton truck with half of that size or capacity, or even quarter, sorry, of that capacity. So it's a very difficult situation. So there's a fight on the port to get your trucks on board to bring supply across the island. 110. Everyone was stocking up, so you can imagine now as most of the groceries and other places started to feel the pinch. Something that we spoke about early on, and it now come to pass. So we have major groceries indicating to us that their stock level are low. And the basic stuff, we're trying to see how best we can keep the basic stuff on island, which is the flour, sugar, rice, and oil, etc. And as much as possible, we're trying to get those basic stuff on island. But it's a real tough time for us as a business owner. When your numbers down, your revenue is down, but your expenses stays the same. In some instances, I know in the hardware sector, they had to shed some of their staff, whether on vacation or leave, etc., just to keep some of their expenses down, because salaries become one of the biggest expense you can have in some business instances. So they have to cut their staff. The supermarkets, they look at the warehouses, their bare minimum. You have all these drivers and loaders. You may definitely have to send some on vacation or send them home for a couple of days to keep your costs in, because the bank is not cutting on their costs. All your loans, all your mortgages stays the same. Nothing changes on that end. The only thing changes is your revenue, and your expenses stays the same.
Tobago Carnival in less than 2 months. Uh, should this should this situation continue, how do you see it affecting our Tobago Carnival?
Maria, don't go there. We hope that the vessel comes back and really get things back into some sort of normalcy. I can visualize Blue Food, Tobago Carnival, and a couple of other events, calendar events for us on island. I mean, Korea, it's all about commerce. It's not just food and beverage. Yeah, other items that needed to come across to the island to make this whole commerce work. And without the Cabo Star at this point, it would really, really be difficult for us. Very, very difficult. So I'm applauding the owners to get things in place so that we can really get this situation back to normalcy. I know the minister is somewhere listening us, and we really need to meet with you because we need to put some plan of action in place. We can't have this happening over and over and nothing has been done.
I just want to piggyback here from the live. One of our viewers says, majority of construction sites have shut down workers on the breadline. This has far-reaching effects. Another viewer says, I guess the plan is for Tobagonians to invest in manufacturing their own flour, sugar, etc. Any thoughts on that? And before I ask the next question.
Ria, those are things that banter around. We heard all these things from the teacher in the past, but without money, Ria, without cash flow, without raw materials, how are you going to do these things, Ria? We talk about planting, and I'm just speaking to a salad bar, and they normally get X amount of heads of lettuce from this farmer. And Ria, the farmer is not consistent with the supply. And sometimes they get 2, 3 farmers supplying them with lettuce and still they're not consistent. So these guys will plant and then after reaping the crop, they go on a little break. So there's no bit of consistency. They do farming as a hobby, as a side thing, as like a hustle, and not a really meaningful career. And with that now, they need the support of the teacher to give them the land and all the things that goes with it. So we talk about farming, yeah, but we're not ready for farming, Rhea. We're ready for a kitchen garden, not really farming.
Ouch. That is an ouch moment there. But let me ask you, even as we're wrapping up, there's some who say that Tobago remains the way it is because Tobagonians do not rise up. We sit down and we take whatever is meted out to us. And I know you indicated earlier that you will be keeping a close eye. You will be at the port when the vessel comes in. You're going to be monitoring things as we go along. You said that, you want to meet with the minister. We are looking at Blue Food. We're looking at Carnival coming up. And that's, like I said, just under 2 months. Should Tobagonians just sit and wait until the chamber speaks with the minister, until the chief secretary speaks with the minister? Do we just sit and wait and accept what is until somebody works or speaks on our behalf?
Rhea, and you're correct. I have been here all my life, most of my life, and we as Tobagonians, we sit and take all that has been fed to us. And I think it's time. And once I sit in this chair here as the chairman of the Trinidad and Tobago division of the Chamber of Commerce, Rhea, I have no time to sit and take this nonsense. We're really gonna have some action. We definitely need to get things going here on island. We sit and take all this set of nonsense going on. And it's time we move, time we have action on island, Rhea. We know it's a bit difficult for us, some of us. We can't even meet our commitments. They're promises met by all. And a lot of politicians promise us things and then nothing happens. So Rhea, we're gonna hold these people accountable. All of them we're gonna hold accountable. Every single one of them.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And Curtis Williams, we will be chatting with you later on in the week. I'm sure we're going to be getting some updates from you, even as things change somewhat. But we expect to chat with you and get some updates later on.
Thank you, Rhea.
Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us. Viewers, lots more coming up on the Tobago Updates Morning Show. We will take a break, and when we come back, we chat with Miss Avian Parks, Communications Director, Office of the Chief Sec, and it's all about Tobago Day Awards 2023. Share the live, share the live, share the live.